Welcome to Cook 30. I'm Jeremy Dixon from the Revive Cafes in Auckland, New Zealand, and also author of the Revive Cafe cookbooks. And today I'm going to share with you some delicious healthy meals you can cook at home. Cook 30 food is all about using whole grains, plant-based proteins. We're going to be using fresh fruit and vegetables and wrapping it all together with lots of international herbs and spices. And the best part, you can do it at home in just 30 minutes. On the menu today we have some unique international dishes. We have Okonomiyaki, which is a delicious Japanese pancake. We have Russian Olivier potato salad with cashew and lemon aioli. Hungarian beetroot and lentil borscht. And to finish off, a refreshing citrus water. So preparing a meal for your family in 30 minutes doesn't just happen by accident. You've got to plan in advance, make sure you've got all the ingredients you need available in your pantry and fridge. Start with a clear workspace, nice big chopping board, sharp knife. We've got our pans and pots on the stove ready to go, and we have water boiled to speed up the process as well. So let's crack into it. First job, we're going to start with the borscht. So I'm going to turn the heat on my pan here. And we're going to start with some onion. And this is kind of a Hungarian dish that was shared with me by my chef, who is Hungarian. And this is something they have, it's all over Eastern Europe. And it's just a lovely red lentil-y, beetrooty, vegetable-y type dish. But to get it started, we want to have some nice sweetness coming through. So nothing like a good onion, chopped up. Don't need to be too fussy. So we're going to throw in a tablespoon of oil, put the onion in. I'll just turn it up a bit. So you want to make sure that the onion is cooked and nice and brown and soft before you add any liquid to it. And that just kind of you've got to make sure you bring out those nice sweet flavours to begin with. I'm going to put some garlic in. So we'll go with 3 cloves of garlic. And just put your garlic, skin and all, into the garlic press, if you've got a good one that is, and just squeeze it in like that. And one of the special seeds we're going to use now is fennel seeds, one of my favourite seeds. So we're going to be putting in around about 2 tablespoons. And these just have a lovely burst of flavour. That'll just add just a nice flavour to this dish. So we'll mix those around there. Turn the heat down a little bit. We don't want it to burn. We want it to saute nicely. Whoa, those onions are really strong. But you can just smell the fragrance of that seed coming through really, really nicely. Next job, we're going to be doing the Russian potato salad. And we need to be cooking potatoes, boiling potatoes. So we'll just put this gas on here. Get the pot up to temperature before we start the cooking. It's going to save time. And we're going to fill this with boiled water that was boiled not long ago. So these little time-saving tricks make a big difference. Thinking ahead whenever you're cooking really, really helps. What's coming up, what am I going to need to be doing in advance. Whereas if I remember to boil the water and put the pot on in 5 minutes' time, that's another 5 minutes that's going to add to the time of the meal. So we're just going to dice these. And we're going to dice them relatively thinly. It's just kind of the style of the salad. So probably around about, what's that, about a centimetre, just under a centimetre, which is about ½ an inch. Just going to dice these up. And you can use any kind of potato you want. This is kind of a bit of a starchy potato. You can get more floury or waxy potatoes. So we're just going to chop them up. We want around about 4 cups of potato. So about 1 cup per potato this size. Putting these in as well. So lots of potatoes there. So turn up nice and high. That'll start boiling soon. And they'll probably take around about 10, maybe 15 minutes at most to come to the boil and be cooked. You want to make sure they're soft enough to go in a potato salad, but not cooked so they're all mushy and falling apart everywhere, so you've got to really check them. Okay, back to the borscht. How's this going? So our onions are nice and getting soft there. That's pretty much almost ready to go, I think. So we're going to start firing in some more ingredients. Now this uses a lot of grated ingredients. So because we've got a lot of grated ingredients, we're going to use our friend, the friendly food processor. So I've got a blade in here, which is a grating blade. So on one side there's a fine attachment, that side there's a coarse attachment. So these are really, really good to use. So I'm going to use the fine attachment. You can just use a normal hand grate if you don't have one, but this will save lots and lots of time. So all up, we probably want around about 2 to 3 cups of each vegetable. So we want to grate some carrots. We're going to be grating some beetroot, so we'll just prep all the ingredients first, just cut off the bits that we don't want. That's probably the first place to start. All the skin here will be fine. It's all been washed and it's all nice and gives a nice earthy flavour. So you don't necessarily have to peel things if you don't need to. Just grab some potato, put it down here, and we'll just cut it in half so we can put it through. And by grating it, it really makes the cooking process go a lot faster. So we'll just give this a quick stir. Don't let it burn, Jeremy. And put this on, and we're going to feed it through. Look how fast that is. At my cafes, we've actually got a mega size one of these, and we produce all our coleslaw and salads using machinery, and it just saves so much time. But the good common food processor is really good for household use. Just have to, I'll put those through the other slot so I can push that through. Probably do another cup, another carrot. Look at that. I think I've got to pull the lid off for this one. And in here, we'll take the blade out and a few naughty carrots and beetroot that didn't want to be grated. And we've got this beautiful carrot and beetroot and potato mixture. Here it is. That will become our lovely borscht. I'll just take these big chunks out. So it's a really intensive vegetable mix, this one. And this will all shrink down and kind of become smaller as the dish goes on. Now let's add some other ingredients. So I'm going to add a little bit of chilli just to give it a little bit of extra something. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of this chilli paste. You could use fresh chilies, or if you don't want chilli, just leave it out. But just a little bit of extra heat just goes nicely with this dish. Just going to add a teaspoon of salt. And some lentils. So we've got some canned lentils, which are really handy. You could add lentils if you want some dry lentils and cook it for longer and add more water, but there's nothing like canned products to help it along. So just any kind of lentils, whatever. These are brown lentils, but whatever style of lentils you like the best. Some brown lentils. And we're going to add some more water. So we're probably going to add about 4 cups of water. And this will just help these vegetables cook. So over the next 20 minutes or so, all these flavours everything will just reduce down, all the vegetables will be cooked, and everything will just mingle nicely into this lovely borscht. Now you can, traditionally this I think is a soup, but at Revive we actually serve it as a hot pot or something to have over rice. So it's a very versatile dish, whatever you want. So we'll leave that there cooking, and just turn it down a little bit so it's just going to be bubbling and not burning. Potatoes are boiling, so we'll turn those down, and they'll just keep merrily going there. We've made a good start on the meal. This Japanese pancake, okonomiyaki, is really fun to make. And okonomi means what you want or what you like. So you can kind of change the ingredients to suit what you ever want. It's a really nice savoury pancake. So we're going to start making the batter. My favourite flour is chickpea or garbanzo bean flour. And we're going to be using half a cup of this So I'll measure that out. Half a cup, come on, stuck in there. When you're doing kind of baking stuff like this, it's good to measure things out. And half a cup of water. But when you're mixing these kind of things, you kind of want to just throw in just a little bit of water first, just to get a paste going, and then put in the rest of the water. And that minimises the chance of having a really lumpy mixture. So just add the water slowly, get it to be a nice kind of pasty mix, and then mix in all the water. And we'll mix that around. Can I just pause there? Okay, unpause. So there's a nice batter. We're going to add a little bit of salt. So about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to add about half a tablespoon of ginger, just to give it a bit of a different taste. And we'll stir that in as well. And that's the batter for the pancake, simple as that. So now what we want to do is make the vegetable section. So I've just got some different ingredients here, and it's actually quite nice using nice little kind of slices. So we're going to make matchsticks out of this carrot. And this is a really cool way of making matchsticks. So cut some long oval shapes, and then just basically go through it like this and make matchsticks. How easy is that? Obviously it's not very easy if you've got a blunt knife, so make sure you have a good sharp knife. So there's our first ingredient. And you don't want to have too much stuff. You need around about probably 3 cups. I'm going to put in some spring onions. Now we're going to chop these up really finely. So second ingredient, I'm going to put some onions in. And again, so these cook quickly. I'm just going to dice these, so just cut them into half moons. And then cut through like that. And we'll probably use about that much of those. Reserve those for later. Got some cabbage. Cabbage is an essential ingredient, and this will kind of cook down. So we're just going to, again, cut it into slices. Kind of try and keep it there a little bit. And then turn it round and just kind of, so you kind of got little kind of bits like that, roughly. I mean, nothing's ever going to be exact. And mushrooms. I love mushrooms. If you're a mushroom hater, like my dear wife is, you can leave these out. So we're just going to slice these. Just like that. I think it's all the ingredients. So put these in here. And we're going to stir it up. And we've got our batter. Now before we do it, I'm just going to get this pan heated up. Thinking ahead, like I taught you to before. So put that on high. So the pan's ready and hot when we want to go and make these lovely pancakes. I just add a little bit more water there just to kind of make it more of a batter. And this will hopefully all together stick together nicely. So yep, it's becoming warm. Just a little bit of oil. We're not deep frying, so just a touch. And we're just going to spoon this lovely mixture into the pan. Just like that. Starting to sizzle. Just press it down so it's kind of all firm. And those ingredients will start to get smaller as they start cooking, and we'll end up with a pancake at the end. So we'll come back to that a little later. If you've just joined us on Cook 30, we are cooking some unique international dishes today. We have Okonomiyaki, a Japanese pancake. We have a Russian Olivier salad with cashew and lemon aioli, a Hungarian beetroot and lentil borscht, and to finish it off, a refreshing citrus water. So it's time to make the potato salad. Let's see how these potatoes are going. I think they're done. You want to make sure they're soft. Better turn the gas off. And just kind of stab them with a knife. And yeah, they just stab easily, and they're still together, but they're soft, and that's kind of the texture you want. You don't want them kind of flaking off. So having good, consistent potatoes is really important. So we're going to drain them through a colander, and we want to make sure we get as much of the water out as possible. We generally don't want water in salads, so try and shake as much out as you can. And we're going to make the salad in the dish we're going to serve it in. 2, 3. That's probably about enough, I think. Don't want to make tight. That's probably about 3 to 4 cups. There we go. Just check you haven't made too many potatoes. And we're just going to throw in lots of other yummy ingredients. Now this salad is a Russian favourite, and basically it's something if you go to every Russian's house on New Year's Eve, you will have this salad most likely. And it actually got a really interesting story. We'll just add some peas. Basically in the 1860s, this chef called Olivier, he was a chef at the most popular Moscow restaurant, the Hermitage. And he had this sort of salad that people came from miles around to eat, and everyone loved it. And no one knew the recipe. It was a very secret recipe until one day his sidekick chef snuck in and saw what the ingredients were and went and worked for a competing restaurant, and suddenly a dish very similar appeared on the menu. Although most people said that it wasn't quite as good as the original. So this salad's got a very, very interesting history. And this salad pretty much started off including things like crayfish tails and a lot of meat and things, but over the years it's evolved to become a salad that's much similar to what we have here, a potato salad with a really nice dressing and lots of other interesting bits and pieces. So it's a really nice salad to have. So we're going to use lots of individually small pieces here. So we're dicing the carrots into fine dices like this. So we've cut them into strips first. Pop that in there. Now these peas, by the way, don't need to be cooked. They'll defrost in a couple of minutes with those hot potatoes there. Put some carrot. I'm going to put some cucumber in. So, a lot of cucumber. So you want to basically cut things into strips like that. And we'll cut it into strips the other way. So again, having a sharp knife is really critical to have, fast, good cuts. So I recommend you go and get a good chef knife. Many people have a $10, $15 knives in their drawer that don't work, when all you need to buy is one probably good $150 knife, and it will last you all your life. Keep it sharp, and it'll make cooking such a joy. You can do better cuts, and it's much safer too because you've got less chance of a knife slipping off and cutting you. So cucumber. Whoop. Going everywhere. We're going to put some red onion. This is half the red onion that we didn't use before. And what's next? And we've got some gherkins. So we've got some, going to chop some of these babies up. So as you can see, there's lots of very interesting flavours and ingredients. And again, you can just basically customise this to be whatever kind of salad you want combination. So just going to halve these guys and just slice them like that. And another ingredient which is quite nice that goes with gherkins is capers. I don't know if you've used those, so I'm just going to drain them slightly first. But they're a little wee interesting salty kind of an ingredient to add that goes well with the salad. Come on, you know you want to come out. There they go. And we're going to add a bit of dill, which is a really nice kind of fresh herb that goes nicely with the salad. Now the thing that made the Olivier salad originally very special was the dressing. So I'm not sure what dressing they used, and it probably included some seafood and other things like that. So I'm going to make a really nice healthy dressing, and this cashew lemon aioli is one that you will love. So we're going to start with 1.5 cups of cashew nuts. We're going to use some seeded mustard, about 1 tablespoon. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of coriander. We're going to throw in just a little bit of sweet chilli sauce, just a bit of heat, a bit of an optional ingredient. You could throw in some fresh chilies if you wanted to. About 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to put some lemon juice in as well. Very important part, given that it's a lemon dressing. And we'll just squeeze these out. Lemon's a really good ingredient for pretty much every dressing. Often dressings have vinegar in them, but lemon's a far healthier, more natural option to use. And I'll just pour it in there through my fingers to catch the pips. A few pop in, it's not the end of the world because they'll be blended up and no one will notice. I think that's all the ingredients. A bit of water. So you probably want to start off with around about probably 1 cup of water, and we'll get blending. We'll just look at that. See, it's nice and thick, probably a little too thick to be a dressing, so we're going to add just a little bit more water. You'll have to adjust this every time you make it. And it's also the cashews aren't quite blended yet. You want to make sure you've got cashews and water blended into a creamy texture rather than water and individual little pieces of cashews. So you kind of want to blend a bit more. If you've got a blender that's not quite so high powered, you can actually soak the cashews overnight beforehand, and that'll help them soften up and make it easier work on your blender. So I think that's looking about right. So we're just going to pour this over there. Look at that. Now we're going to reserve a little bit to garnish the borscht later, so don't use it all. And we're just going to use our hands and just lift it through. This is the most fun part of making salads, is making stuff with your hands. Every day at my cafes we basically make our salads, but my staff use gloves of course, but we just basically have these big bins and we throw all the yummy ingredients in and just toss them around with a nice dressing. That's pretty much the way to make most salads. So you just know that's going to taste good, don't you? That nice creamy texture is just delicious. There we go. And we'll garnish it with a little bit of dill later, and then it's ready for the table. Okay, we can finish off the borscht now. So I've just got some coconut milk, and we're just going to pour this through. Probably need about half a can. And just look at that. And there. And this will just give it a lovely kind of, make it slightly pinker and give it a lovely kind of creamy texture. And a bit of garnish of cilantro over that will just work wonderfully. So that's pretty much finished. And you can have it as a soup or as like a main course. You can even water it down and make it more a soupy type thing. Okay, this guy looking pretty good. You can press him down if you want to help him cook. Now flipping him can be troublesome. So the easiest way is just to get a plate, put it on top, flip it over like that, look at that, and then slide it back into the pan. So we'll give that a few more minutes, and then we're going to garnish that with some lovely, some more of the leftover cashew aioli, and also some sweet chili sauce as well, so it garnishes up really well. This is a really delicious pancake. Okay, the drink. So I've got some water here, a jug of normal water, and we're going to make just a really nice citrus kind of infusion. Look at this lovely red blood grapefruit. It's just really beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in half of the fruit. We're going to squeeze the juice in, and we're going to slice up the rest and put it in. And we're going to do the same thing later also with an orange and a lime. I'll do that through the break, and add some ice cubes, and this will be a delicious, refreshing citrus drink. And there are 3 very interesting dishes for you to try at home. The Okonomiyaki, we have the Hungarian beetroot and lentil borscht, and the Russian Olivier salad. And don't forget the lovely citrus water. Thank you for joining me on Cook 30, and I look forward to seeing you next time.